So, you're here for a Maniac build, huh? And I also assume you want me to explain to you how it works as well. Well, if you want to play Maniac, I have some cool builds for you that were provided by some pals in the Discord. If you want an explanation of how exactly everything in Maniac works, though, then I'm afraid you've come to the wrong video. To this day, I still don't understand this weird perk deck no matter how many times it's explained to me, but there are a few things I know. First of all, deal damage. Yep, that's right. Deal damage, get rewarded with Hysteria stacks, which gives you damage absorption. Secondly, Maniac is a little unreliable. If you're constantly dealing out damage, then everything should be pretty much good. But once you start to lose those Hysteria stacks, then things can become complicated, to say the least. I hope this doesn't discourage you from playing Maniac, though. It's a unique perk deck that's unlike anything in the game, and is honestly a ton of fun to play once you put the time into the perk deck. So, lastly, Maniac takes practice. Like most perk decks that aren't super overpowered, Maniac takes real practice to understand it. I'm no expert in Maniac by any means, but I have been playing a lot of Maniac here recently, and once I became comfortable with my builds and what the perk deck offers, I really enjoyed myself. I hope Maniac can gain just a little bit of appreciation through this video, despite it being amongst a roster of powerhouses like Stoic, Leech, Packer, etc. Hopefully that suffices as maybe like a tiny explanation. If not, take a look at Carrot's 5 Maniac build video. At the beginning, he offers a slightly more in-depth look at Maniac that I think could be beneficial if you're wanting to understand it better than how I could probably ever explain. It's linked in the description below. Now, one more thing. Thank you to Addy and Hart for the builds in this video. Both builds are an absolute blast to play, and I appreciate you both for giving me builds to try as I attempted to get better at Maniac. Hart also sent me multiple Maniac builds that were absolutely phenomenal that aren't included in this video, so if you want more builds, join our Discord, that's linked below. We have a channel for builds, and if you're looking for a certain kind of build, you can ask. More than likely, someone will get back to you with something to try. I think that's all I have for now, so I'll stop yapping. Let's get into the Maniac builds. Addy is back with an amazing Maniac build. This build is my personal favorite Maniac build and one of my favorite builds of all time. I find it extremely easy to play, paired with one of my favorite weapons of all time, the UAR. We also have the Arbiter with Sting rounds for an interesting secondary pick. Sting rounds go through shields, and the Arbiter itself really helps dish out damage quickly to keep our Hysteria stacks up. We also have Body Expertise and Unseen Strike Ace for an absolute insane amount of damage that we're dishing out second by second. That isn't to say you're invincible with this build though, as with any Maniac build. You still have to be careful, but I definitely feel more confident in taking on every kind of enemy that is thrown my way because, more than likely, I'll always have Hysteria stacks available to me, providing damage absorption. If you want a build that is slightly more forgiving with plenty of armor and damage output, give this build a try, as I know it is now one of my favorite builds of all time. Wanting something a little more fast-paced? Check out this build, Maniac equipped with lightweight ballistic vest. Who would have thought this worked? I don't know about you, but as someone who is bad at the game, I used to be someone who thought it's ICTV only for Maniac. You can't have any kind of armor besides ICTV. Well, I'm wrong, and if you thought that too, then you're also wrong. This build is all about continually dealing damage to get your Hysteria stacks. With Desert Fox and Graze, that becomes very easy to do. Clear out groups of enemies with one or sometimes two well-placed headshots with damage absorption as your reward. When you need something with a little more rate of fire, switch to the Para, which is also great for long-distance engagements if you find yourself in a pinch. Has great damage output, and alongside our crits from Low Blow and Unseen Strike, the Para has no issues clearing out waves of enemies. I won't lie to you, I struggled at first with this this build, and after 1 or 2 heists, I felt like I had a good grasp on how to utilize this build properly. And it was really nice to run Maniac while having great movement speed and absurd damage output. Overall, just an amazing build, especially after you have a little practice with Maniac. And that's it. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you try these builds and how you fare after practicing with them for a bit. If you want some more Payday content, I have tons more on the channel, and I stream daily over at twitch.tv/DazeLux. I'm typically live in the afternoon around 6 or 7 p.m. EST, except maybe on Saturdays. It's kind of anytime during the day, where I try out builds that are submitted in the Discord and everything else Payday related. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you very, very soon. Take care.